Another shot is coming raw and unbounded. The whiskey's always talking and the beer's overflowing. Another shot is gonna hit you with a mind overloaded on it. The bar is always open with no inhibitions. Another shot will leave your sensories twitching. So never everything we say is just our opinion. But then again, it might be the alcohol talking. It might be the alcohol talking. Let's go.
Welcome to another Shot Podcast, where our opinions might be real, or it could just be the liquor talking. Sit back and enjoy another shot.
I'm going to need a lot to drink it tonight, apparently. We are having all sorts of fun little niches going on. But that being said, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another Shots Wednesday Night Open Bar. We do have a topic. I do not know if he is ready to come in quite yet, of course. So I'm not going to be surprised if we don't have quite a bit of lag. If we don't, I mean, it's just, I get to see it now. It's going to be a very, very interesting night. And I'm trying to figure out which way I want to go. I don't know what type of night it feels. It's a warm night. I need some warm. So let's go. It's horrible when you find a drink that really kind of it really hits that button, and you have to drive almost 700 miles away to get it, unless we get lucky enough and find it somewhere else. So we'll just stick with our Scotch on the racks. I personally, I do like I said before, I like the Octahoshan, but I'm not. I can also say this particular flavor, I'm not 100%. Ooh. We got a blip. So hopefully here shortly, our boy Dan will be joining us for some conversation. We're going to definitely need it tonight because we are going to be losing a person for the next 2.5, 3 weeks, if not a little bit longer. No, short, somewhere around there. Is the fam going down like they normally do? So this time, everybody's sticking it out. And this is you go down and you basically work the fair, the local fair. And then you send us back videos of all the cool shit that's down there too. Or you step out for a smoke, or you step away and next thing you know, all you see is the rides in the background. It's almost like you're kind of flaunting that you're going to be in that. Would it be considered subtropical? Not quite tropical, but subtropical right there. I said it before. The reason women love Florida so much, it's shaped like a dick. It really is. It draws you guys to it. It really does. But what's that say about all us fellas that like, oh, let's go down for fun in the sun?
I'm drawn to it for the heat and my mom.
You think you could ever live in Florida?
For sure.
I don't know. That is one of those places, too unpredictable of weather. Storms. I can handle the snow. I can handle the warmth. I cannot handle. I got it. One of the things about Tennessee was every spring, every fall, tornadoes. And I'll tell you, the storms are nasty. And I can only imagine. I mean, hell, what was it the one year? 5 in a row, was it? Did I hit? It was just back to back to back to back to back to back to back. I think I saw one where it said 1 had the name of the storm, 2 had the name of the storm, 3 had the name of the storm, and then they had 4, and then beside it said sail. But at the same time, I'm kind of along the lines of I could probably live where, in the crystal clear waters, maybe further down. I don't know. Try and get to that spot that's like right below the storms. Usually when you see the storms, they come from point A and they just do this one little arc, and then if you get just south of it, you get lucky. Boy, I've always seen it. We can pull up the maps and show it. There's a neat little arc. You don't get a lot of them coming straight south to north.
No, you're hit on either side and slammed, and then it goes across the state.
I'm talking about further. I'm talking about past the Keys, down, some of the islands that are a little further south.
I mean, Jamaica's getting hit right now.
Oh, they're getting their asses kicked.
So, I mean,
I'm talking about getting below the arc, getting down, that it goes like this. Somewhere, find like this nice little, wherever the hell Tom Hanks crash landed and ended up living for 3 years. I can live with something like that. Of course, I don't know about eating coconut every day. I probably couldn't do it. I would need.
he didn't eat coconut every day. He drank the coconut water.
Well, what was he eating? Because it took him a while to figure out how to fish. We know it took him a long time to figure out how to do a fire. I don't know, stranded on an island like that. I mean, I could see the appeal for a little while, but then I could also see, certain aspects of that movie where. But then, I mean, if you can get past that point, I mean, it was just like acceptance. That was his island. That was literally the whole place was his home. To the point he was close to feral.
I can completely understand how Wilson became.
What's going on, Dad? I was wondering about that. I didn't want to message and.
Yes, Wilson.
Exactly.
I completely understand that one because, I mean, if you leave me alone for too long with just me and my thoughts, oh yeah.
Oh, Jesus, I can only imagine some of the conversations.
That would get dangerous. So yeah, I completely understand how Wilson became Wilson. Had to have somebody to talk to.
You didn't even see that scene as like slapstick either. It was like he did good. You can see the pain. Like that was his friend. 3 years. He in his head he was actually talking to that ball. That was Wilson. He needed something. So when Wilson died, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of tears shed. It's like, oh, I was rooting for Wilson to make it, unfortunately. That whole movie was That whole movie, I like. There was not a part of that movie I didn't like. I mean, it was really, first off, he literally did live and die by his job. He sacrificed, and then when he came back, I mean, he did you think that her and him were, when she got in the car with him, was it going to be, that's it, here we go, she's just going to drive off with him, or did you expect him to reach down to start going, and she goes, stop? I mean, that's the only part that kind of got me a little bit. It's like, why would you? I mean, just for like, insanity, that 1 second, that glimmer. Don't make me come in there to talk movies. We're filling the time just slightly because we're getting ready to. Dan will be joining us, and he's got a topic he would very much like to talk about. But you are more than welcome to come in regardless. And we will talk. I mean, we could talk movies for a little while. I love a good conversation. Dude, that's the point of tonight. Open it up and run it. Let's. I take it yours is done. Because when I was setting everything up a little while ago, you were still live last I looked. I'm kind of surprised. Wonder what Mike's Mike, what was your topic tonight? I didn't get a chance to actually click on it. But I mean, the whole jumped early. I think the premise of the whole movie is hope. Don't give up hope. Because even at the very end, he met the woman, that package, that from day one that he found that had the wings. Something about that package he had to hold on to. And, you're thinking is the wings on there might mean, expedite, there was still that part of him that was, married to his job. And at the end, well, if you go in this direction, there's nothing but if you go that direction, and she's driving away, the wings were on the back of the truck. So, I mean, did he follow her? Did he not follow her? Did it, was there, at the end of the day, were they really not meant to be? I don't know. That movie, no, it was good, but it left a lot of open questions. Ugh. Fun fact, by the way, let's throw this one out here and swirl a little bit. I did find out something. It is official. You can actually look it up. Slippery Rock is in the top 10 in the United States party schools. Little ass Slippery Rock University. Good luck, kiddo. Keep your wits about you. Give me about 5 minutes. It was a short meeting. We're here, brother. He's got to brew his coffee and get the right bow tie ready. Guaranteed. So, yeah, remember I kept saying all along, I got verification from others. I thought I had seen it before. I always thought it was humorous until you ended up with a child. And he goes, "Ooh, you know what? At the end of the day, I think I'll go to SRU." But if we want to talk about sports for a little while too, hey, there it is also confirmed that they are looking at going to D1. So we might start seeing good old SRU on ESPN or ABC, one of those squash games for one of the bigger schools. And get paid. Hopefully we can actually build a true stadium. That'd be kind of nice. Just because. If you guys would see this woman right now, she's got her beanie on. We still haven't turned on the heat. I did talk to remember I was telling you about the flatty I was working on today? He's one of the guys from Lennox over here. And yeah, there's different variations, and he said every one of them for the size of this place will work. And I did find out I'd have to talk to one of their salesmen, might be able to do a little wheeling and dealing, trade in that, and get one that's going to be both heating and air. So to be continued. No more poor kitty cat, no more gloves and long sleeves. And as you guys can tell, I had to wear long sleeves. It's chilly, but it's not there yet.
They're all pruny because they're so cold.
Well, normally it waits till wintertime for me. I start to really dry out. And that's when the hands crack and inside of the legs and everything out there. Well, for me, you got to think, where I work, wash my hands with a lot of Gojo. So that abrasive, constant, having to, if I want to zen, I got to run over and wash my hands real quick or whatever. Yeah. Wake up in the middle of the night and you're sitting there going, well, my hand's on fire. The worst part for me is right before I go to bed. That's when it's the worst. And I'll sit there and I'll start itching the legs because the front of my legs will be all chapped, and I do. I'm one of those. I'm fair skinned, blonde haired, blue eyed. I'm almost neon white. You all see me almost without a shirt on. You saw me with muscle shirts and shorts. Yeah, I dry out like a monster, or like whatever. I prune no matter what. But I'm not going. I wouldn't change it. I like Four Seasons. I really do. We're at that point where hoodie weather is my personal favorite. I love being able to go outside and just a hoodie and long sleeve, a thin sweatshirt.
That's summer for me.
This is very true. If you guys would go back and watch some of our earlier stuff, when she was down in Florida, she would get on video with us and she would be bundled up. Well, how cold is it? It's like 16 outside. That's chilly. We got snow outside. It's like 20 and 30 degrees, and she's down there in that type of weather, and she's like, get there today, you'd see her, oh yeah, I've been swimming, oh yeah, look at this, oh yeah.
Won't be any pool time for me this time.
Did you say though this might be the last time that the person you're going down to help, just really can't do it no more?
The person I'm going to help is my mother.
I know. I always talking to her because I tried,
Well,
it's
no,
personal.
I mean, everybody in the world would know my mother means the world to me. If I can do anything to help her whatsoever, I'm there.
I got some sweetness. I don't talk about people's personal. I'll talk in code. I'll talk towards it. But if you want to share, then you're more than welcome to. But I can't. I don't know. I just kind of.
She's not a young chick no more.
None of us
And
are.
a lot of her health issues and everything that's going on, no, she's not going to be able to do it anymore. So it's not going to be my last trip to Florida, but
No,
it'll be our last fair, or at least this big fair anyways. I mean, the fair is 2 weeks long. Well, the fair itself is 10 days. They're open 10 days, but we have 3 days ahead of the fair to set up. And it takes us all of that, if not more. And then we only have a few hours from the time they shut us down to get it all packed up and out of there. And then if we can't get it all, we can go back the next day and pick the stuff up, and it has to be packed up, ready to go.
Right.
And then I have those couple of days to just relax before flying home. This time, though, I believe the fair ends on Sunday. We'll come home, unpack everything. We'll take Monday to rest. And I believe Tuesday, she and I are leaving bright and early in the morning and driving from her house to a friend's who usually do the fair with us. Or not with us, but they have their own thing and they're always at this fair. It's actually where we met them and became very, very close with them, where they just recently moved
Oh,
to Georgia.
you need to make sure when you're down there this time. I remember you saying that, by the way.
They're 6.5 hours from my mother, and my mother can't drive, so I will be getting up bright and early Tuesday morning and driving 6.5 hours to Georgia.
Are you driving the 6.5 hours back to Florida? Well, you're gonna have to. You gotta take them all home.
Yeah, we'll spend the day, hopefully the night, and then the next day, and then we'll come home early afternoon. Bombs for me. Fly out the following day.
When people fly out of, when my brother had people fly in, normally they don't go to Charlotte. They fly into, I think, Roanoke. No, somewhere. I'm trying to think of what the closest major airport is to my brother, but he has to actually go to another state, pick them up, and bring them back down. About an hour and a half, 2 hour drive for him. What's it like for you? You guys close enough to? I'm assuming you fly into Orlando.
No, that one is actually further out. I actually fly into Sanford or Jacksonville, depending on the flights.
Are they international, or are we talking puddle jump? You go to the smaller airport.
Stanford is the much smaller. It's literally where, it's like walking through our high school, boom, and I'm done. It's like one long hallway and I'm out. So I prefer the smaller airports. Yes, Jacksonville is much bigger. But again, so I am going into
Hey,
is due to I should arrive down there right about this time tomorrow night, right around 8 o'clock tomorrow night. So 2 hour flight, if that. Depends on if we catch a tailwind or whatever. And then the 20th, when I come back, I'm leaving that one completely up to you. It is a Thursday night. It is a sports night. We have been going on early, but again, I'm going to need somebody to pick me up, and my flight doesn't get in until, I believe, 8 as well.
no, then I think we'll just have to do another Wednesday night sports night. Keep it simple.
So
Can't let this little thing of somebody's gonna be picked. I'm kidding. No, we'll make it work. I'm not too. I wish we had pulled the trigger on going and getting a. I know what we need and how much it's going to be, but I'm still thinking a little down. How is that going to work? Are you leaving the computer, or am I crossing my fingers and hoping for the best with Old Faithful?
you're going to have to cross your fingers and hope for the best with Old Faithful.
Well, somehow I made it work the other night.
I legally can't leave this one.
Legally.
Legally.
Again, we need dedicated to this place. Close it up at the end of the night, put it in a case or something, or be kind of nice to have it to where we don't even have to do all the hookups or anything. You just go over, hit start, boom, everything goes. But that's where the way you described yours kind of reminds me of when I flew out of Williston. Williston's airport is big.
you ever flown out of Youngstown?
No.
That's also one that I really preferred. Oh my goodness. Like literally you walk in the door and it's from here to your house to security.
Yeah.
And then from security back to here for your seats to sit for your flight. I mean, literally, it's just this tiniest littlest. They don't fly out of there anymore.
Well, I'll tell you flat out, you would absolutely be petrified. I know you're not really afraid to fly, but you don't like the cold for starters. And when you're sitting there watching them de-ice the wings, they're spraying it down and chipping away the ice.
And that, yep. Because I prefer a window seat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like looking out the window, but I prefer a window seat because it gives you something to lean on.
I found it interesting, though. Our flight was delayed one time, and my buddy's going nuts. So
my flight's been. I was delayed 2 hours because the line for the de-icing. We literally sat on the plane waiting for 2 hours because everybody was lined up for the de-icing, and one of their machines or whatever it is that de-ices was jammed up and wasn't working right. So there was only one. Yeah, there was like 12 planes in line. And then once you get de-iced, then you have to quickly hurry up and take off. But you have all these other planes.
Wait until you get delayed because the pilot cannot adjust his seat up and down, in front and back. It was up and down, actually.
Yeah, they have to be able to do that.
Yeah, apparently.
Everything has to be working
100.
100 or you can't. Yeah.
Then you end up missing your flight, and you end up getting connected to O'Hare. Let us, speaking of northern exposures, our good friend from the north, let us welcome to the stage, published author Dan Lee. Oh, look at you! Oh, he's not. Is he wearing a bow tie? Or you got it on?
He's got the black one on.
I see it there. I see it, and I see the flannel. I like it. I like it. Sorry about that, folks. Sorry, I apologize. Again, we are having all sorts of little. Thank you. You do realize when you put that in the message on this end, when it goes down, we don't see the message until we come back. So at that point, the camera's on. Kind of figured it out. Just throwing that out there. Just help me out, buddy. What's going on, Dan?
Not much. I see you're having some technical difficulties.
Dude, honestly, we are having all sorts of. It's not been a fun night when it comes to us trying to work with this. So.
I blame it on.
Yeah, the weather is absolute crap. How'd the meeting go? Everything go good, brother?
Oh yeah, everything went really good actually. I had a good meeting. It was short. But it was a good meeting though. Everyone we had a good time, and yeah, told them about to come join, check out your meeting if they can. So.
I'll be honest, we heard about 2% of that. I don't know if that one was on your end or on our end, but
I
Yeah,
think
but
it's on
they
your
were
end
originally
because
that, oh, oh,
I guess we gotta say hi, Sheila. Hello, Sheila.
is my mother watching?
I'm assuming so.
Yes.
So, Dan, if
Oh, she is watching.
Aw,
Hi, Mama.
I'll see you in just a little over 24 hours.
Yes, 24 hours.
She's already counting it down. She's loving every minute of it. So if I'm not mistaken, Danny boy, I think we started a conversation last week, or was it last week? Sunday night.
I think so. Yeah, we were talking about stereotypes.
Yes. So in case you guys are wondering, I was doing my normal routine, and we were throwing some jests at our good friend there because he is from Canada, and just for the fun of it, he made a comment. And he's like, "Man, you're really throwing out the Canadian stereotypes." I'm like, I mean, and it made me wonder. I said, what do the Canadians say about us? Because I know I've met quite a few Canadians. I brought it up a multiple times. We were actually just talking about it a little bit ago, me and up there in Williston. And I tell you what, it was almost like neither side were fans of each other. I don't know if it was just the region, the area, if it was because we were all in the oil field or what the deal was. But I literally had one. I just pulled into the local Walmart, and I guess he was wanting to take that spot or try and pull through, and because I pulled in and parked, he got pissed off, and next thing I know, he gets out of his vehicle, and I don't know, did he want the parking spot? I have no idea, but he goes, I guess down here in America, they really don't know what politeness is, do they? You guys are just, I mean, they're rude. And I'm standing there, I'm like, I'm standing right here. If you're gonna say something like that, at least say it to my face, So I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Stereotypes to me, like we were talking about the other night. I don't currently 70, but to drop to 58 tonight, oh, you are screwed, woman.
Mm-hmm.
You better take your Arctic gear.
Yeah, she already told me to leave the weather up here. And I said, Mom, as much as I tell you this every time, I honestly have no control over the weather.
No, I personally like to meet the person. I get to know them first. And I bring up my newest job. I even did it at the old one. I give it a couple weeks. I want to feel people out, get to know them, try and read the personality, and then that's when I start to open up. You throw a few jokes out there and see, what works, what doesn't.
Test the waters.
Exactly. Honestly, I love the fact that, I think one of the reasons I like to joke and I ask you so many questions about Canada is because I've never been. I've never been outside the U.S. I want to. I'd love to. I was born and raised here, dude. Look how, dude. Again, Williston. I was literally 60 miles from the Canadian border. It's not like I always kept saying I was wanting to take a trip up that way, but that was also around the time where you couldn't exactly cross over. It used to be just show them your driver's license. Couldn't do that anymore. They kept telling me passport. I'm like, well, what about that weekend pass I heard about? They don't do that anymore. It's like, so, I mean, to me, even though we're both North American. You know, I have an interest and a fascination, and yeah, I'll throw some of those puns out there and some of the stuff that people joke about. And
Oh, don't get me wrong. I heard them all. You know, like, do we live in igloos? No, only during wintertime when it snows. And even then, the igloos are meant for snowball fights. You know, it's like, but the problem, like, this is the thing right there about stereotypes right there. It's the fact that when you think about stereotypes, right, you say, like, Canadians are supposed to be polite, well-mannered, and whatnot. Well, the thing is, though, you can look at anybody else in the States who fit that. It's like, you don't have to be Canadian to fit that stereotype, to be that type of person. You know, that's just being called kind and polite.
I hate to say this, brother. Are we breaking up? Are we breaking up on your end?
Yeah, you keep on going like. You keep freezing.
Yeah, he's froze. This is a rough one tonight. This is gonna be hard to have a conversation when we can't exactly, you know. Yeah, I can't tell if he's frozen or if he's just looking.
Let's go that way.
Oh, there's a screenshot picture right there. See, I can't tell. I can't tell. We're waiting for it. Waiting for it.
I figured if I'm going to freeze, I might as well look like I've frozen in a good spot.
What do you think about going to the hot spot? Oh,
everyone
hey,
there out.
We're gonna try and switch internets real quick. So if we blip, it's just gonna be for a second, if we can. We're just. I love it. I don't know what the heck's going on. All right, let's give us a try now. Oh, he's actually, we can see movement.
I can see movement too.
Is it possible?
Quick, Bill.
Holy crap.
Right now. Bill's IQ is.
If I turn around real fast, maybe by the way, there.
My mom said it's like watching an old Godzilla movie.
Nice. In color. No, so you brought up my new favorite phrase, Cobra chicken. Now, I've got one for you. You compared it to a moose. Would I rather go against a moose or a Cobra chicken? Which, for all you watching, that is a Canadian goose. I got a better one for you. I would put your Canadian goose or your Cobra chicken, as you guys call it, against our turkeys. Have you ever gone into the cage to try and catch that turkey Thanksgiving dinner?
Oh yeah, I heard stories from my mom actually.
That's a
when Actually, here's a fun little story. My mom actually grew up on a farm, and she raised the turkeys that they apparently sold to the company Butterball. So if you ever heard of Butterball turkeys, my mom actually raised turkeys when she was younger, living on the farm, and they sold the turkeys to them. Apparently, yeah, from my understanding, turkeys are vicious.
Barry, I would put a turkey against a Canadian goose any day. Tell them about vultures here.
Okay, so
Yeah, those are called lawyers. Waiting for something.
they have these. Everything's kind of like backwards down there.
Okay.
Their insects are not little like
Oh, I've been there. Oh, trust me. I've seen.
the vultures. Literally are almost as tall as I am. They've been known to literally fly in and take cats, small dogs. My mom has 4 small dogs. She has 4 little Shih Tzus.
She used to have 5.
So you can't just leave them outside by themselves to go out and do their business. You got to make sure you walk out there with them just to keep them safe from these mammoth things.
These pterodactyls.
They've been known to attack cars.
Well,
And the gators, literally, the cops will stop traffic
let the gator cross.
to let a gator cross.
Mm-hmm. That happened to us the very first time we went to Florida. So, anyways, all that being said about animals, they're between 4 foot and 5 foot tall and can lift up to 50 pounds.
Exactly. Almost my height.
That's pretty big, guys. I had to step off camera for 2 seconds.
You see something that I can't look at, I'm taking it. Yes. He's saving me from one of those creepy critters that I don't like.
And clean up my mess afterwards.
He's so nice. So sweet to me. He protects me from those critters.
I try. No. So let's start over again.
Yeah, now I can actually hear you.
So let's run it back. When a few days ago, we were on here and I was throwing some jokes at him about Canada. And at one point, and yes, guys, it was all, it's all in fun. It never was, I think there might be a little bit of annoyance on your end. I do think so, which fair enough.
Well, you hear one stereotype joke is like, yeah. I was waiting for the whole igloo part too. It's like,
I mean, you are dressed the part, so I mean, it's perfect time tonight to. No, I had to. And he made the comment, man, you're all about the Canadian stereotypes tonight. And like I said, it was never meant in a mean way. I love the fact because, like I said, I've never been. I've always wanted to go. Never been. So to get to know you, it's really cool. A, because like I said, I've never been there. B, it's really cool to have some, from a whole other country on here, albeit, just to the north of us, but still. So the joke came out, okay, so you get, we've all heard the stereotypes about Canada. What does Canada say about us down here? And he had to Google it And I tell you what, it was, wasn't exactly for the faint of heart. I mean, it was almost, what was it? Pompous, loud, arrogant.
I can't remember because I don't. Hang on. What are the stereotypes of indigenous people? No. Well, what was it?
United
People
States.
from. Yeah, here we go. So, what are American stereotypes? So,
No. You have to put United States. Think about it, because you're still actually considered American. You're North American.
well, that's what I said. U.S.
Ah, there we go.
Okay, this is giving me a lot different answers than before.
Well, here we go. Okay, well, let's run it.
Okay, so a common stereotype of Americans is that of economic materialism and capitalism. They may be seen as caring most about money, judging all things by their economic value, and scorning those of lower socioeconomic status, despite the fact that, as noted above, Americans are also highly charitable by global standards. This thing is not giving me the same answers as before.
That's fun. It's like, nope. We're not going to make this one easy. Honestly, that was, that type of stereotype. I mean, Kitty Cat, what do you think? I can almost agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here we go. So here's some more stereotypes. Negative view stereotypes.
Oh, here we go.
Obsession with guns, materialism over consumption and extreme capitalism, lack of cultural awareness, racism and racialism, environmental ignorance, arrogance and nationalism, workaholic culture, obesity, driving habits. Those are all the negatives. Here's the positives: hardworking nature, frontier mentality. There's a lot of negative stereotypes right there. But here's the thing: this is why I don't like stereotypes for. Now, this is where I got interested, because I was talking about this before. Because, like I said, when I write my books, I know you have. I think I asked you before about some of the characters in there. You said you got to chapter 5.
I got up to I still haven't had an opportunity to turn 8 pages yet.
Well, either way, you got to meet 2 characters in there. One's named Blarick, the other one's name's Calcord. And now I'm asking you this right now. What do you think of them? Just based off what you can remember.
Well, okay, so bear in mind, you did ask me the same question, and we already gave the answer. So I know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Did my opinion change of them? No.
No, exactly. Yeah, because for anyone who's out there who's wondering what we're talking about, I have 2 characters in my book. They're gay. But here's the thing. You wouldn't be able to tell that they're gay unless I told you. Or you pick up subtle hints within the book. Reason being is because I don't do the stereotypes of what people say are gay people. Like, for example, some people think that gay people will always be flamboyant. They want to be showmen. They go like this with their arms. And I can't really do that with the wrist thing. So, but either way, and they have that. And they I can't think of all the stereotypes that supposedly goes with people who are gay or anything like that. And it's like, I don't do those stereotypes because they're stupid. I mean, here's the thing right there. I mean, I've seen a person who does this. They're not gay. They're straight, but they still do this. They still act very flamboyantly. Does that make them gay? No. It means just the way they are. The same thing about this right here. Like, where, for example, with the stereotypes for Americans: obsessed with guns, materialism over consumption, lack of cultural awareness, racism. You know what? All of those things right there can be shifted into other people as well. Even here in Canada, we got people like that. It's like, it doesn't matter where you go. Stereotypes are just stereotypes. they're worthless. They're just ways for people to have an excuse to hate other people. And so that's why I don't use stereotypes at all. Like, that's why I don't like stereotypes. You know, for example, like someone says like, oh, what was it? Like, I was talking with our friend Ninja, for example. You know, I told him, like, you know, there's stereotypes where some people go like, or First Nations, like, you know, First Nations will give things and they'll take it back, and they will call some people Indian givers. Well, here's the thing right there. Like, there are some people who aren't First Nations, and it's like, and they'll do the same thing. You know, sometimes they'll give something and take it back. And it's like, should they be considered that? No. So when I write my books, I don't use stereotypes. At least I try to avoid it as much as I can, because I find it, you know, outdated. Stereotypes are outdated because when you think about it, the world is made up of different people. Every nation, every country has the same type of people out there. We all have different personalities and whatnot. But, you know, you tell me one country that doesn't have an obsession with guns, or at least someone in their country that doesn't have an obsession with guns. Tell me one country.
Well, I would have to go in a country that does not allow guns. So probably, you know, if you really wanted an answer to that, like maybe England, where guns are outlawed, unless you're like law enforcement, military, or you get a certain. I don't know how that works. I really don't over there. Ow.
Yeah, well, that's again right there. That's more sort of a stereotype, because I know somebody from England. They love guns. They love nothing but guns. So
do we know
once
the same
again,
person?
huh?
Do we
No,
know the same person? Okay,
No,
person.
this is the person I know of.
I was hoping
but-
you were ready to say the name.
Yeah, no, a different person. But that's what I mean, though. Like, you know, so you think England, but I just told you, like, I know somebody there who's obsessed with guns.
At the same time, I mean, yeah, there are hunts and stuff. Like, I mean, they still, you know, we're getting kind of off subject then. So,
Right.
I never judge somebody by the stereotype. You know, I don't look at somebody and say, oh, well, they're Italian. Oh, they're a different color. Oh, they're a different, you know, race or whatever. You know, the only time stereotype ever comes into it, I'm telling you, if you were to go where I work, it is an HR nightmare. And a lot of the times, like we do have a half Asian salesperson. And he's just as bad as the rest of us. We all ordered Thai food the other day, and he wanted to be the one to go and get it. You know, it was so much. He's like, "Why are we ordering Thai? Is it because I'm Asian?" You know, oh, we know why you're a salesman. You know, because you know you're Asian. You're great at math. You know, what are you doing this? You probably went to. You know, it's just in jest and fun. You know, we. It's never meant as a. Now we never use any of the taboo words. You know, we keep it even keel.
Yeah.
You know, there's a certain, you know, obviously there's a lot of words out there that are used to, you know, slander somebody else. But I mean, we've got a person that comes in. I wasn't there that day, and they were still laughing about it the next day. He referred to himself as Blasian.
Oh, okay.
He's black and he's part Asian. There you go. So I mean, I like the fact that, you know, and it's something I brought up before. You know, I think people are finally getting tired of everybody judging them because of, you know, their political affiliation, what religion they follow, what, you know, you're right, 100%. People just look for a reason to bitch. They really do. They look for a reason. Everybody just wants to be angry. You know, that gives them that opportunity to get out there and, you know, they protest. You know, what are you really protesting, you know? Like we just had one not long ago talking about our president. You know, we don't have a king, we have a president, So something along those lines. What was that? It was some weird, you're not our king, you're a president, something like that. It was basically an anti-Trump rally.
Yeah.
And it's like, really, just because it's an opinion, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, besides, once he's gone,
I
anyways.
understand if it was like when a company shuts down because they're like, hey, we feel like we deserve more money. We're, or better insurance or something. So people, they'll strike. They'll sit outside. They'll picket. Hey, higher wages. We have, something like that. I can understand.
Okay.
If there's, one of those old school, let's just say a coal factory, like, Pennsylvania is full of coal mines and stuff that still run. I can understand them wanting to sit out there, pollution. Okay, I can see that. But, a lot of this other stuff, it's ridiculous. And I think what we're starting to see, though, I think if I remember, it's a group called Yeah Mad. And they get on there and they tell dark dad jokes. And they're all different races. They're all different. There's men, women. There's one Mexican. They got I think one girl. She's I think she used to be a former porn star, or she might still dabble in it, or something. I don't know, but they've got an Asian on it. It's just they get in there and they do the stereotype jokes. They kind of really dig into it, but people are trying to laugh about it now. And I love seeing that. People are trying to bring that humor back.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, don't get me wrong or anything. Like for example, like I know you gave me you brought some chops about it with doing the whole Canadian stereotypes, and I laugh about it too because it's like, oh yeah, I can take it. And as long as you take it back too, it's like, that's the best part right there. It's like we know we're joking.
And that's the fun part. I think every one of us have met people that love to dish it out. But I tell you what, man, you're gonna need those down there. Super glue. We got it. On a side note, real quick, Kat is one of those ones that, if she can fix it, if she can save, if she can, she'll find something. She literally just threw away her sunglasses because one of the lenses fell out, and I'm like, super glue, right there, just quick. That was very uncat-like of you just to throw them away.
Technically speaking, if she has the frame still, if she can actually get new frames and have the glasses still.
It's the frame that.
I seriously just thought he said brains. Second, you blipped right there. Go ahead, kitty cat.
It was the frame that broke that held the lens in. It's okay. I've got full hair.
Well, I was going to say, keep the lens because you can actually do stuff with the lens.
She's not going out. She's not going to Canada anytime soon. She's not going to need a lens to start fires. I think she's. Sorry. Go ahead. See, that's the thing about when I say something, I do it in a joking way, but I do it in a clean joking way, like just like right there. You guys have a lot of wilderness. That's kind of where I was leaning to.
Yeah, and then you got all the people who are environmentalists out there going, fires.
Oh no, you're using plastic? No.
There's a stereotype for right there. A lot of environmentalists are the ones who are always complaining about this and that. No, it's it's like in a way I'm an environmentalist myself because I enjoy nature too.
Dude, I love going out. I love camping. I love I like to get out, and this is around the time I really enjoy it. With these brisk nights, this is where you get the fire going, or better yet, I can't wait till it drops the snow and possibly this year go and get a cabin somewhere. I like the rustic log cabins. And, you know, you get out, you know, you wake up in the morning, you make sure the fire's going in the fireplace, and, you know, that whole sort of thing. That to me is comfortable. But like I said, I mean, you know, the jokes I crack at you, you know, I talk about the wilderness, I talk about the moose, the geese, the, you know, the stuff that, you know, it's non-harmful.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You know, I wouldn't get out there and say anything, you know. I'll tell you this much: I couldn't even think of a, you know, a derogatory Canadian word. You know, honestly, I've never heard of such a thing. So I mean, that also helps.
True,
But
that is very true.
like I said, I mean, you know, again, I love meeting people from different places. I love getting to know people. You know, there's always that feeling out stage. I pride myself on being able to read people for the most part. I say for the most part, I'm not perfect. But you bear in mind, you know, when you do 7.5 years in corrections, yeah, you best know how to read body language, personalities, so on and so forth. You know, you learn how to read people. So you know, the one that, and if Hooper was in here, he'd tell you he was absolutely amazed the first time he ever hung out with me outside of work. He's like, you really are like this both at work and at home, you know. So I try to be the real me all the time. You know, you're going to get that laughing, joking. You know, do I have my bad days? Yes. I get mad like anybody else. But I mean, at the same time, you know, I'm me. I will never give anybody a fake me. You know, I don't go out of my way to try and act like somebody. Oh, dude, look how he's picking up all these women. You know, maybe if I start acting cool like that, or, you know, oh, they think he's great. So if I'm funny like him and try and joke like, you know, no, I'm me. And
I'm me as well.
Huh?
I said, and I agree with you, and that's why I'm me as well. You know, that's why and that's what I mean. Like, I get what you're saying, because I know you're joking, and that's the difference right there. You know, I know you're joking around.
But to be fair, there is a flip side to that. There is such a thing as joking too much, to the point where it's kind of like, you know, like I said, that, you know, when you said that the other night, you know, okay, you know, let me get a read on this. Is he getting upset? You know, well, he must be getting at least annoyed if he's saying something like that. So that's called reading the room. And and honestly, it sparked a really good conversation that, you know, if we hadn't had all the little blips tonight, you know, I was actually looking forward to it. You and I were talking a little while ago, and you're like, hey, you know, we still, yeah, I'd love to run it. You know, let's, you know, I want to hear other people's opinions too. I mean,
well, exactly. It'd be great if other people were able to come join us too for this conversation, because I think it's one of those interesting conversations right there. Because, like, you know, stereotypes is definitely a subject matter that is, you know, it's definitely a safe subject to talk about, but it's also a very interesting one, philosophically speaking, as well. Because when you get down to the stereotypes, on things, like I said, you know, it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter which country you're in. The stereotypes of one person, of one culture, one country, can relate to something else, relate to another person, relate to another country. You know, it's like I said, you know, like, this, I don't know what it is. Like, well, let's just say that, I know. Let's say all Mexicans are obsessed with chocolate. You know,
peppers. Let's go with peppers. Let's if we're gonna throw that out, you know, exactly. That's a common stereotype.
Well, yeah, I didn't realize that was a stereotype for Mexicans, but anyways, let's just say, like, yeah, all Mexicans are obsessed with peppers. I like peppers. I like hot sauce. As far as I know, I'm not Mexican. You know, so it's like So do I fall in that stereotype? Does that make me an automatically stereotypical Mexican? No. It makes me a person who loves peppers and who loves spicy stuff. And that's what I'm getting at right there. It's the fact that stereotypes on one group of people is irrelevant because one stereotype can relate to a different person or a different group of people. It's, you can mix and match.
The fun part about, and you got to think, judging and stereotypes, I mean, they go hand in hand. Honestly, these are the same people, these are my favorite ones right here. Bear in mind, there's those ones that, I'm going to call this out. No digs here. The ones that want to know everybody's business are 9 times out of 10 the ones that do not meddle in mine. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The ones that judge, if you turn around and judge, if you turn around and you make you do the same thing to them, they'll be the first one to say, how are you going to judge me like that? How, you don't know me, blah, blah.
Right, exactly.
Stereotyping leads to judgment. Judgment leads to, hypocrisy. It's just all this negative.
It's so
this is the shit that I do my best. When we started this is the stuff that we've always tried to stray away from. Toxicity. This is why, you don't talk about politics. You don't talk about religion. You don't, because, at the end of the day, that's the shit that causes arguments because, there's always, you bumped your mouse. I'm like, why is your mouse moving? She's back there. She's trying her best. She's getting ready for, she's going over her list of stuff.
Mm. Hear that? Or, ladies and gentlemen, I think Bill's starting to see things.
Well, I'm also sitting here trying to figure out how am I going to, how do I really want to word this? And in my mind, it's not coming out the way I'm wanting it to come out.
Well, I think you're saying it right there. It's, when we start talking about certain subject matters, there are people out there who will they'll go to the extreme. Let's put it that way. When you start talking about religion, you start talking about politics, start talking about sex, people will tend to go to the extreme on that. and it's like you said too, sometimes they don't know where to stop. They don't read the room. And we can talk about that stuff, but we have to stay civil. And the problem is, though, is that most people don't want to be civil. They don't read the room. They don't stop where they should stop, kind of thing. And so that's why we have to avoid that stuff in order to prevent something like that happening from someone else. But unfortunately, though, that, my personal opinion, that actually is that is actually one of the things that causes stereotypes to happen. That's one of the things that causes things because we should be able to civilly talk about certain things. But like I said, though, because
so when you say civil, what falls into that category of being civil? Because I've got a list of things that civil conversation. And
let's say for example, for what we and you are doing right now, like we're not yelling back and forth at each other. We're not name calling each other at that as well. I've got an example. I have a friend. I used to have a friend. He actually passed away from a heart attack. Knew him for 15 years. Me and him got along extremely well. Anyways, he had a different political opinion than I did. And me and him would talk about it. He's more the yelling type. I'm like, no. And I had to always pull him back saying, I'm trying to tell you my opinion. Can I tell you that, please? And then he calmed down a little thing. So it's more so like when you're talking civil, you have to talk in a calm manner about it, because you never get the full picture if you're not willing to be open-minded and to listen. You can still keep
That's the big one for me. You just said it right there. That's the big one. You have to be open-minded. You have to be willing to listen to the other person. Now, the only, you said your buddy likes to, he'll be like that one. No, 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 no. I've been known to do that. But the only time I do that is after I normally don't get into an argument with somebody, a debate, without, even just a conversation, without something to back it. And I try not to repeat myself. I try not to say the same thing using different words. But the only time I really start getting flustered like that is when you can literally sit down and tell somebody 1 + 1 = 2. Okay? And they'll go, but you didn't factor in that. It's like, now wait a minute. I just showed you. Explain yourself now. No. This is what I'm saying. Okay, so tell me why. I'm not understanding why. Because it's this. But tell me why. You can't just sit there. There's only so many times you can say, look, maybe it's my end. I'm not understanding. If you're gonna say that, back it. Don't just,
no.
At that point, you just start talking. There's ones that like to talk out their ass. And just, they'll throw it out there because they heard somebody say it, or they've seen it on TV, or they read it somewhere. And even if they don't understand it, they're like, oh, hey, in my mind, that makes sense. Okay, so if you're going to use that, though, explain why that makes sense to you. That's how I feel a conversation. I'm saying I'm open to listen, but if you're going to make a statement, if you're going to say something, tell me why you're thinking this. Now, sometimes, I'm open enough to be, okay, that makes sense. That sways me. So now I can see your point of view. But at the same time, you have to be willing to turn around and say the same thing. Okay, well, that makes sense, instead of just saying, nope, that's what it is. That's where it's at. Done.
Exactly. And I think, I was watching an episode of Doctor Who, actually. I like watching Doctor Who, so then I do pick up a few things. And there was this one episode where the doctor was talking about, did a war speech. And he actually said something in there. He's saying, you know what thinking is? It's just another word for changing your mind. Because you're thinking, you're starting to look at all angles. It's like what I said, right? It's like you gotta be open-minded and listen. And if that makes you think, it gives you the opportunity to possibly change your mind. But if you're thinking about it, then you can hopefully articulate what you want to say in a calm manner. And unfortunately, there are people out there, like you just pointed out, they will go like, no, 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 no. And, unfortunately too, we have leaders out there who do the same thing.
Well, the fun part. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh, that's okay. I was just going to say that, unfortunately, we have leaders out there who are, in history who do the same thing. They are so enamored with their own ideology, their own thought of what is true and what is an absolute fact, that no matter what you do, you can't persuade them. They have that stigma about them. And actually, there's there's not stigma, a schema. So basically, they're so ingrained in that thought that you have a hard time just changing their mind. It's like I was in psychology class, and that's actually where one of the things they brought up was their example. So in case you want to know what a schema is, think of it this way. Let's say, Bill, you are open-minded, and you think a pizza can be anything you want. Kat, on the other hand, thinks a pizza has to have toppings. But Bill, you think a pizza can be just a plain old cheese pizza. Just cheese. Plain.
I see where you're going with that.
Yeah, and now
two people that love pizza right now. So I mean, that's kind of.
And Kat is so ingrained in that thought, that no, pizza has to have toppings on it. That she's looking at you as, no, you're wrong. A cheese pizza is not a pizza. And you're trying to convince her to change her mind. But because she has that schema about her, because she's so ingrained and so latched onto that thought of a fact that pizza has to have toppings, it's hard to change the mind. And until they actually get the chance to actually try it out and figure out, okay, maybe you're right. Maybe this is a cheese pizza. But it takes a lot of effort to do that. And that's what I mean. Like, we have people out there who are ingrained. And once again, we're going back to the same subject we're talking about. That's the same thing about stereotypes. What people have. We have people out there who are that schema.
I tell you what. You want to have some fun. Since we're going to throw me and Kat in this mix here. All right. When we took the week off to build the bar and redesign the studio, at one point it was almost like, okay, we kind of might be in the same mindset. But this is where the headbutting come into play. When I was taught how to build something, when I was in construction, the man that taught me was an absolute 100% perfectionist. Now, I am not that bad, but I am right there. Kat, on the other hand, is one of those ones, well, why don't we do this way, or this way? And in my mind, it was kind of, that sounded like the mic kind of, that was weird. Sorry. In my mind, it's like, no, this is why. I want to do it this way. I want it to be done right. I want it to have some stay power. This is why, yeah. It was like, yeah, but in her mind, this is like, well, what if we do it this way? It's more cost efficient. It's getting it done quicker. It's, well, because if you do it, and that was a long week with a lot of chiefs and very few Indians. Now, I say that, and I still to this day, I had somebody in here helping us that I literally, it didn't matter what I said, it didn't matter what she said. Like, they were going to do it their way, and it was just like, well, it doesn't matter. Now you get this neat little conundrum where Bill is very frustrated because Bill is trying to help in 3 different directions. I'm like, kitty cat here, you do this, I'll worry about the bar. Now I've got this guy out here doing this. Okay, cool. You understand that where I'm going? Cool. Let me come in here. I come back out. That's not how it's supposed to go. I come back in here and it fed into each other. So as the song goes, what we have here is failure to communicate.
By the end of the week, we were ready to kill anybody that looked at us crooked.
Very much so.
The problem was we were looking at each other so crooked, it was just better just to walk away.
But to be fair, that particular evening, we ended it with a hug. We came back in. She made it to the end of the driveway. She turned around, come back in. I come back in. We kind of looked around. The place was still in disarray. It's like, all right, where do we go?
Just take a deep breath. Where was the new end?
And sometimes that's all you gotta do.
Well, I do put quite a bit of responsibility on me on that one because I'm the one that was getting people to come over and help. And I'm thinking, okay, if we have X amount of people, the job's getting done quicker. We can, really, because I tell you what, the one thing we both learned, a week wasn't even close to enough. We're thinking a week. When I pitched the idea to her and she goes, yeah, let's do it. I'm like, cool, we got this. Yeah. That's why we keep telling people we're at the 70 percentile. That's being optimistic. We still do go back and forth.
He is very, very headstrong, and he is very, very determined. Problem with that is, I am very, very headstrong and very, very determined. If I have something in my head that doesn't match up with something that he has in his head, and trying to communicate his thought with my thoughts is not always the.
It doesn't always work out. Let's just go.
Not with cake and ice cream. That was fireworks.
But like I said, at least there's one thing you can even admit. I can admit.
And I'm the one that's happy with cheese pizza, by the way. He's the one that prefers the top.
I think I can actually give her that. I do like cheese pizza, but it has to be specific.
I can handle other stuff, but I'm good with just cheese.
Like last night, they brought in Papa John's. I did not know Butler had a Papa John's. I was so happy. Now I was like, it's pepperoni and cheese? Oh. I was a kid in the candy store again. I absolutely love Papa John's pizza.
I get it. I go to my mom's all the time.
And they've got a Popeyes now in Butler. Butler's now turning into Hermitage.
I was going to say they have that before too.
Yeah, Butler's turned into Hermitage. And literally, these two towns are literally the same distance from our town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but at least Hermitage got the bright idea to tear down their non-vacant,
Butler's still holding on to Clearview. There's that sense of
this massive mall that
you got Rural King that you can't even get into from the inside of the mall. Now you have to go drive from the outside. They've closed down those doors. You got Boscov's, you got Dick's Sporting Goods, you got Bath and Body Works. They still have Spencer's. And they've got a Yankee Candle. Other than that,
everything else
restaurants.
is closed up.
And it's horrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess the moral of this story is, even though we get mad at each other, somehow, some way, we find a way to communicate, and truth be told, neither one of us get our way 100% of the time. Okay. So there's just sometimes you just gotta kind of you swallow that pride a little bit, which I'll be honest, for me, it's always been really hard to swallow my pride. Always been. But that also goes back to like what she said. There was a lot, there was a lot of fighting, clawing to get to where you're at today. So, it's kind of instilled. But like I said, does it falter? Yeah, I can honestly say, though, at least there's this much. The communication has never died. I think it just, what's a good way to put it? Cross paths, it blips, it,
takes a little break, cools off.
Somebody's going to be gone for 3 weeks. No podcast for her. She gets to sit back and enjoy, and well, she's still okay. To be fair, there's still sports night.
I will be giving my picks to Blue.
You sure you want to do that?
Well, whenever I get a copy of the games, then I can can just send my picks to everybody in the group chat. I'll write them down and send them to the group chat so everybody can see what my picks are.
I'll have to write them down. Someone will have to write them down.
Who has a better handwriting?
Me. Come to sports.
Blue. Why do I gotta turn around and go to her?
To read, you're right.
Literally the day of, I have to go to her, and I'm like, can you please send me the printout?
I already have all the NFL written out for the entire time I'm gone. I can't write out the college games for you because you guys don't pick them ahead of time.
He does. He went with, he got with me one time. One time. After that, he just goes,
Literally, he
Rogue.
handed me his list yesterday. It says here, write these things down.
and that
I
actually,
got them written down when I got here tonight.
well, I'm going to tell you right now, I got to work tomorrow, so I'm going to be pencil whipping as we go.
I don't
NFL,
know what the college ones are, so he'll have to send them to me. I can write them down and then send them out
You have the college ones.
all I know is
for the weeks.
Oh,
we did break the trend. We may have passed the first game.
Yes, we did.
Thank you, Arizona State. So on that note, Dan,
Mhm.
I was telling Cal a while ago, you saw me kind of cover up. I'm like, let's go another 15 minutes because we had
Such an issue starting out.
yeah. So I wanted to make sure we got dude. This is exactly what I was looking for. I was hoping that Ninja and Jay and everybody would come in. Guys, I can't say it enough. Feel free, if you don't want to get on camera, you don't have to get on camera, but you can send in your opinions on message. And, you can still be a part of the conversation. I love hearing others' opinions. I don't think Dan would be opposed to that, Kitty Cat,
No.
So the whole point of
Thing is,
tonight of our Wednesday night open bar is to have that open conversation. If you've got something that's on your mind, just run it.
Oh, exactly. I mean, it's the thing is that everyone is entitled to their opinion. It's if it makes us think, it's a possibility it might change our mind or something.
I think that scares people, honestly. There's another thought behind it.
I think you might be right on that one.
I think people, and I can guarantee everybody in this room, and I'm sure everybody on that end, there is not a person out there that likes to be wrong. None of us. Nobody wants to be wrong. So
I do. If I'm proven wrong, it just means that there's more for me to learn.
I can agree with that.
So there's really nothing to be afraid of being wrong. It just means that, if I'm wrong, it means I have more to learn, and now I can go back and study up on what I was wrong on, and then I can come back stronger with possibly another new argument, or I'll admit defeat and say, nope, you're right, I was wrong.
I had a conversation with a buddy of mine, and I said, I'll tell you what, the best thing to do is just agree to disagree. And he goes, well, I don't believe in that because that's saying that we were into an argument. And I'm like, no, you just, okay, you both said your point. Obviously neither one's going to be swayed. So let's just agree to disagree. It's not a disagreement as in a negative thing. It's just like, okay, we've met that impasse. Move on. You might look it up later on and see that I'm right. Or I might see something and be like, you know what? Shit, they were right. Okay. I'm with you. That doesn't mean I like to be wrong, but if I'm proven wrong, I try to learn from it. I always have. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. I haven't always been like that, but over the years, the older I've gotten, that's been more prevalent.
Well,
It's at the end of the day, it works out better.
It's kind of like there's some really good sayings out there too, and I think one saying is I think some people will relate with comes from Batman Begins. Surprisingly enough, why do we fall? So we can learn to pick ourselves up. So basically, you know,
So, what it was now. That goes along with what he was saying.
so basically, you know, if you're wrong, okay, whatever. You learn something new. It's you know, you're yeah. Forget where I was going with that, but essentially that's the gist of it.
My saying, and I learned it from my mother, is what doesn't kill us makes us stronger.
Unalives us.
I'm not on that formula. That's why I said it now.
Did she tell you, by the way? We'll end this one on a laugh. For the longest time, do you still do this? She would tell people, she would refer to them as tiny glasses or the book of faces or the tube of users or, you know, oh, where can we? You were talking about the podcast. Well, where can I see it? While we're in a book of faces. What?
Yes, I literally, I was talking to the other day. It was somebody that I hadn't seen in a while. Oh, Miss McCall. I ran into an old worker that worked with my kids, and she was asking how we were doing and everything else. And I told her, I gave her one of our cards, and I said, you know, produce a podcast now, and we're on Sunday night. And this drives me nuts. I say Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. You say Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. Sorry, the week always starts on Sunday for me. So again, yes. So and she's like, I said, all you have to do is scan our QR code. It'll take you in. You can pick whatever site you want to watch us on. And she's like, okay. And I said, yeah, we're on the Book of Faces, the Tube of Users. And she's looking at me like, the what? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and we're on TikTok, Spotify, all this stuff. And she's like, oh, really? I said, yeah, we have actually a lot of people that actually listen to us on Spotify as well when they're like on their way to work or different things like this. So we record and then we upload it to the Spotify so people can see or listen while they're driving, because we have quite a few truck drivers that listen to us and stuff. She's like, well, that's awesome. I have an hour drive for work, so I can just listen to it on there. I was like, yep, but it's always better when you see it in person because you see the different facial expressions. That makes a little bit more sense.
You can also make sure that Bill's not wearing a pink tutu this time around. Like he's doing right now.
Dan's been known to wear a bra that he's wearing right now.
Hey, you know what? I'm a big guy. I need the support.
It's got the Canadian leaf on it. It's got the big maple leaf on it. It's red. I mean, what are you trying to say there?
I'm trying to show my Canadian pride. What can you say?
She like started biting her lip like, really? All that, you still did it?
I'm sitting here, I'm taking all of this in because I think this is the second time besides on the back of this book that I've seen him without the bow tie.
He's comfortable. I love it.
I know, I'm liking this more relaxed, more chill.
Dan?
Yeah, I was pretty cool talking there.
She forgot your name.
No, I was the word, but it literally.
Oh, what word would that be? I wonder. Watch it. Oh. I did like that, dude. That was a good one. So on that note, Dan, I'm thoroughly enjoying you popping in here with us. I really am. You're definitely bringing something. We needed this. We definitely did. So feel free, any point, if you want to message, better yet, when you do come up with one, either message her or message me, and say, "What do you think about this for a conversation?"
Mhm.
And
Wait.
we're always looking for new topics.
Bill, if you're offering me to do that, you're opening up Pandora's box, because I can talk for hours on certain subjects.
I can't guarantee I can keep up with. Well, I can't guarantee I'll be knowledgeable in all of them, but I'll at least try my best to keep up.
Hey, that's the best thing you can do. You know, it's like,
Hey, Picard was better than Shatner all day long.
that one, I will agree with you on that one. I know there's people out there going like, "Screw you! I love Shatner." Nope, Picard all the way.
So on that note, let's go ahead and wrap this one up, folks. Yes, ma'am?
That's the bald one, right?
Yes.
I liked him better than Shatner.
He was also Professor X. He was in Dune, which was a great movie.
I did like Shatner for Unsolved Mysteries.
No, that wasn't Shatner. That was Robert Stack.
He started out with Unsolved Mysteries.
No, ma'am. He was Rescue 911.
I think that's it. Yes.
I got you back, beautiful. Because I was a huge fan of Rescue. When I first started watching that, I thought they were real, and I kept that. I finally asked my mom, I'm like, what I don't understand is, why are they recording it instead of going down there and helping? She goes, because these are, she had to explain to me what reenactments are. I was like 10, 11 when that show came out.
Yeah, I know.
It's getting there. Hey, you're not the only one with silver in places either.
Mike's gone now. Come on, don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah, I'm not too far off from that. Gonna have to do a little something. So, on that note, guys, make sure everybody says goodbye to Kat. We will, well, don't say goodbye. Make sure you tell her we will see you soon. She will be, she's taking her yearly trip to Florida.
My sabbatical. My working sabbatical.
We will definitely miss you, sweetie. You know we will. And not just because all the stuff you do behind there. I actually enjoy your company. So you complete me. So
in case anyone here is wondering, he actually brought out a cow heart, if you're listening to us on Spotify, and he put it right up to his mouth saying, "You complete me."
He's narrating for you.
I'm noticing. Steal my thunder, will ya? Guys, make sure you check us out Thursday night for our Thursday Thoughts and Shots Sports Edition. I'm pretty sure, I'm confident after last week. I like how I did. We're getting closer. I'm telling you, before this season's out, we will hit again. I promise we will hit again. We're getting better at this. Plus, it's getting down to the nitty gritty. We have our Sunday night weekend hangover, our Monday night bartender, and we come full circle right back to our Wednesday night open bar. Make sure you check us out because we got our boy Dan who loves to come in and we get some awesome conversations. Let's run it. Dan, anything you want to say real quick? November 16th is coming up quick.
Oh yeah, I was actually going to mention that too. If anyone's interested,
It's not Universal Chronicles 2, is it?
perhaps Universal Chronicles 2 Eclipse is coming out November 16th on Amazon. It is available on.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you with your coughing like that.
You didn't steal anything from Twilight. You're good. Go ahead.
Well, you see, there is vampires. No, I'm kidding. No, it comes out on hardcover, softcover, and it will be on Kindle. November 16th, Universal Chronicles Eclipse.
And I'm looking forward to
it.
Book 2 of 9. Real quick, before we wrap this one up. So once book 9 is complete, have you put any thought into a new series? Because we have a lot of friends that are spicy romance novelists.
I won't do spicy.
Nope, he's gonna give you guys raw.
I am thinking about fantasy.
I think you do well in the paranormal world, though.
Mhm.
I like it. So on that note, guys, thank you, Dan, for popping in here. Miss Sheila, hope you enjoyed, guys. Everybody else that's been out there, I'm kind of surprised. Is we had the viewers, but nobody was like chiming in. It's
I know. Actually, last time I saw the viewer numbers, you were up to 7.
we hit at one point. I think it blipped at 9 and then dropped down to 8 and stuck there for a little. Hey, either way, it's getting better. I'm having a blast doing it, guys. Looking forward to talking to you all again real soon. For all of you on TikTok, we have 1 more hour to go. So, if you like a little more upbeat, energetic, before Dan, you might want to message her. She is having a hell of a time getting the goals up there. For some reason, I don't know if it's finally said, you know what, you can't make up your damn mind. Here, we're just gonna something. We haven't been able to do a goal. It won't go. You should have seen her the other night. It was just fun. Oh, she went from white and then I've never seen somebody go to I don't give a fuck that fast. she literally hit fuck it. It was done. So while I'm doing the invites and everything, if you would be so kind as to FaceTime her and see if you could help her out, that would be amazing, good sir.
He's a moderator.
He can't set up goals though.
Yes, he
Yeah, I
can.
can't set up goals.
Yes, you can.
You may have to double check that to make sure.
I don't know if that's wishful thinking or hope.
I gave you control over everything. I gave Arliss control over everything.
Oh dear God.
I gave Jerome control. Jerome kept doing the polls.
I trust Arliss.
Anybody else you want to just throw in the mix here? Just run it. Holy crap, it won't be too long. For all we know, Jerome's out there just having fun with it, going, haha, what's this? Haha, you see? Haha. Yeah, guys, we're getting ready to go on TikTok. It is going to be the last one with Kitty Cat for the next 3 weeks. So make sure you guys jump over there real fast. Have a good time. We're going to laugh, joke, have a few drinks. And looking forward to talking to you guys. So let's keep up with tradition, but I'm only going to do the tiny glass. I'm doing my darndest now. I do enjoy a good beer every now and then, but I like my conversations, just sitting down with a good scotch and rocks. And believe it or not, I complain about it to begin with, and then afterwards I'm like, I like that. It's weird. So on that note, guys, everything we say. That's stuck on.
And right now we're not having technical difficulties. He's having technical difficulties with his arm strength, apparently.
No, apparently, I don't know. We'll let that soak for a little while and see what happens. Everything we say on this show is just our opinion. But then again, Kitty Cat, one last one, beautiful.
It could just be the alcohol company.
And there's not a dry seat in the house. Dan, we'll see you shortly. Hit her up on FaceTime. Let's see if we can figure this out. Guys, you have a good night. We will see you again real soon.
Thank you for stopping in and listening to the Another Shot podcast. We shared some drinks, stories, and laughs. But it's time to say goodnight. Join us next time on Another Shot podcast.
If you're looking for a party, then man, have you found it? Now the shot is coming raw and unbounded. The whiskey's always talking and the beer's overflowing. Now the shot is gonna hit you with the mind overloaded. The bar is always open, but no inhibitions. Another shot will leave your sensories